Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Choda and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. This is part 2 of the analysis of President-elect Biden's press conference. Listen, I've been looking at the comments from our viewers and subscribers. I understand how you feel because, over 70 million individuals voted for President Trump. Over 75 million individuals voted for President-elect Biden. So, in fact, it's quite interesting when you actually take a look at the segment of the interview that I'm about to show you on the Fox News website. There's probably maybe 300 or 400 likes or something like that, and there are thousands and thousands of dislikes. So it's very clear that all of us essentially have a fixed opinion, have a firm opinion. I respect that. I appreciate that. I'm not here to help to make you question your opinion. I'm here to report what elected officials say. And I do believe in the simple philosophy that we should all give each other a chance. And I do believe that, since we have President-elect Biden, we should at the very least listen to what he has to say. And I'll let you listen to President-elect Biden's comments on his relationship with the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. He did say that he was looking forward to speaking with him. And again, I'm paraphrasing, and you can watch the segment for yourself. He talked about the fact that, I quote, the Republican Party is mildly intimidated. These were the two words that really jumped out at me. Mildly intimidated by a sitting president. And I do believe that he was very calm, very balanced, I would say very respectful even of President Trump, saying that, look, there can only be one president at a time. He's the president right now. So I do think it's very interesting to take a look at President-elect Biden's comments on essentially where things stand now, the need for cooperation, the need for a peaceful transition without federal funding, without the kind of support that is normally afforded to transition teams. So let's take a look at what President-elect Biden had to say. Pretty interesting comments. Let's roll the tape and you can judge for yourself.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has suggested today that he may not recognize the outcome of this election until the Electoral College meets next month. Have you spoken to your longtime friend in the Senate, Mr. McConnell? And what do you make of his specific comments over the last 24 hours?
I haven't had a chance to speak to Mitch. My expectation is that I will do that in not too distant future. I think that the whole Republican Party has been put in a position, with a few notable exceptions, of being mildly intimidated by the sitting president. But there's only one president at a time. He's president. We're going to have the Electoral College. We'll be making their judgment in December. It'll be announced in early January. But in the meantime, I hope to get a chance to speak to Mitch.
If I could follow up, without transition funding, will you be able to go through with a proper transition that's needed? Would you like access to the PDB, and will you authorize legal action, or would that be too divisive, do you believe?
We can get through without the funding. We're in a position that we feel very good about. There's nothing that slows up our efforts to put things together. Obviously, the PDB would be useful, but it's not necessary. I'm not the sitting president now. And so we don't see anything that's slowing us down, quite frankly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President-elect, and congratulations to you both. Have you tried to reach out at all to the president? And if he is watching right now, what would you say to him?
Mr. President, look forward to speaking with you.
And you say that you are being able to move ahead without interruption, but to Jeff's point, presumably at some point you will need access to more classified information, secure facilities and the like. What options are you considering? How will you move ahead if the president continues to refuse to concede?
Well, look, access to classified information is useful, but I'm not in a position to make any decisions on those issues anyway. There's one, as I said, one president at a time, and he will be president until January 20th. It would be nice to have it, but it's not critical. And we're just going to proceed the way we have. We're going to do exactly what we'd be doing if he had conceded and said we've won, which we have. And so there's nothing really changing.
But not ruling out legal action?
No, I don't see a need for legal action, quite frankly. I think the legal action is, you're seeing it play out, the actions he's taking. And so far, there is no evidence of any of the assertions made by the President or Secretary of State Pompeo.
In the next segment, President-elect Joe Biden says, I would hope that the president has the sensitivity and knowledge to know that a lot of people are in trouble right now. He hesitated before he used the word sensitivity. He said, I would hope that the president has the, then he paused, and then he said sensitivity and knowledge to know that a lot of people need help right now. Quite incredible. The President-elect Joe Biden was asked about his role in the stimulus negotiations, and you can see his response for yourself. A very telling response, basically acknowledging that we desperately need stimulus, which, by the way, I want to be fair, President Trump has always said that. In fact, President Trump has talked about a much larger stimulus package, but, it didn't happen because the House and the Senate just couldn't see eye to eye. In fact, the House and the administration were going back and forth, and the negotiation stopped and restarted. But now we have a new dynamic. So now basically, President-elect Joe Biden said that, people need help right now. He basically said that House Speaker Pelosi was, knew his views, they've talked, and he did essentially indicate that House Speaker Pelosi would be the one handling the negotiation. Look, let me be clear, whether House Speaker Pelosi handles the negotiation or whether President-elect Joe Biden himself handles the negotiation, I don't think that's the important point. The important point here is that they are both aligned in what they want, and more importantly, is Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell going to see it from their point of view? That, I think, is the question mark that exists right now. In fact, let's hear what President-elect Joe Biden had to say about the need for stimulus, about what the president should do. And I say president, he said it himself. President-elect Joe Biden said it himself. There can only be one president at a time. So when I say president, I am referring to President Trump. He talked about the role that President Trump can play in potentially getting this done. And importantly, that he and the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer were aligned. Let's roll the tape and see what President-elect Joe Biden had to say about the future of stimulus post-election.
Democrats are on track to lose a handful of seats in the House of Representatives. That could make it harder to pass legislation with just Democratic votes. And I'm just curious, how does that impact your plans for what priorities you think you can get through this Congress, especially if the Senate remains in GOP control? And during the lame duck, will you be coordinating with Speaker Pelosi on how she should be negotiating with Republicans?
Well, I've spoken to the leader, and I've spoken to the minority leader in the House. And one of the urgent things that need to be done is people need relief right now. Right now. Small businesses, people who are about to be evicted from their homes because they can't pay their mortgage, unemployment insurance. What's going to happen is you're going to see what people don't realize is the failure to provide state and local assistance. You're going to see police officers, firefighters, first responders laid off. And I think the pressure is going to build. But the fact is that I would hope that the president at least has the sensitivity and knowledge to know that a lot of people are in real trouble right now, between now and the time we get elected, till we get sworn in. And so it's my hope and expectation. I'm sure that the majority leader, the Speaker of the House, as well as the minority leader, are working right now into the priorities they have laid out.
But do you plan to be active in those negotiations, working with Speaker Pelosi to represent Democrats in the table?
Well, we've been talking, and they know my views, and I support what they're doing.
And then my second question was about the Senate. Do you plan to campaign in Georgia before your inauguration to help Democrats in the 2 runoff races there as they try to flip the Senate? And how important is a Democratic-held Senate to your agenda?
Well, obviously, it'd be much better if we had a tie in the Senate, which means that this vice president become incredibly important beyond what she already is. But we're going to do anything we can that they think we can do to help.
And does the Democratic Senate help your cabinet chances? Does that change how you consider who you nominate to cabinet posts?
No, I don't think so. I take McConnell at his word. I understand he said that he will make it clear who he's prepared to support and not support, and that's a negotiation that I'm sure we'll have. Look, one of the things that I would do as president-elect and when I become president is lay out to the Republicans as well as the Democrats who we intend to name for each cabinet position. I hope we're able to be in a position to let people know at least a couple that we want before Thanksgiving, and we'll just work this out. Look, I am not a pessimist, as you know, and I think there are enough Republicans who have already spoken out, and I think there will be many more, not many more, there'll be a larger number once the election is declared and I'm sworn in, to be able to get things done. I think they understand. For example, I can't imagine there not being a willingness on the part of Republicans. There's going to be significant pressure to deal with health care. Their own constituencies are in that position. So I think we can get a lot done.
And in the final segment of the press conference, President-elect Joe Biden was asked about the president's refusal to concede the election. The president is questioning the integrity of the election, is questioning election results. And, we'll wait and see where that goes exactly. But so far, the president has not called the president-elect to concede the election. President-elect Joe Biden was asked to comment on this, and he said, I quote, that it was an embarrassment. And he did allude to the fact, and I'm paraphrasing here, that this would tarnish President Trump's legacy going forward. Keep in mind that there is widespread consensus that the president is going to yield an influence on the Republican Party, not just now, but well into the future. Before the election, President Trump had actually talked to his staff about potentially running in 2024 if he lost this election. We have no news of whether that's actually been discussed right now. And in the words of Senator Mitt Romney, President Trump is, I quote, the 900-pound gorilla in the Republican Party. In fact, there have been reports that Donald Trump Jr. has talked about potentially trying to take over aspects of the Republican Party. So, look, the Trumps aren't going anywhere, but the question still arises, should the president call President-elect Joe Biden to concede? If you're a supporter of President Trump, you're saying no until the election results have been certified, and that's fine. But basically, President-elect Joe Biden was asked to comment on President Trump not conceding. Let's hear what he had to say.
Sir, what do you say to the Americans that are anxious over the fact that President Trump has yet to concede and what that might mean for the country?
Well, I just think it's an embarrassment, quite frankly. The only thing that, how can I say this tactfully? I think it will not help the president's legacy. I think that I know from my discussions with foreign leaders thus far that they are hopeful that the United States democratic institutions are viewed once again as being strong and enduring. But I think at the end of the day, it's all going to come to fruition on January 20th. And between now and then, my hope and expectation is that the American people do know and do understand that there has been a transition. Even among Republicans who are people who voted for the president, I understand the sense of loss. I get that. But I think the majority of the people who voted for the president, a lot voted for him, a significantly smaller number, but a lot voted for him. I think they understand that we have to come together. I think they're ready to unite, and I believe we can pull the country out of this bitter politics that we've seen for the last 5, 6, 7 years.
And just to follow up on a previous question, how do you expect to work with Republicans if they won't even acknowledge you as president-elect?
They will. They will.
That's it, everybody. Let me know what you think of President-elect Joe Biden's comments on his relationship with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, on his views as far as stimulus is concerned, on the importance of the Georgia Senate runoff races on the 5th of January, on President Trump not conceding the election, on the impact of this as far as world leaders are concerned, on the impact of this as far as President Trump's legacy is concerned, and on his view, this is President-elect Joe Biden's view, that this is, I quote, an embarrassment. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. If you learned something new from this video, please click the like button. Please subscribe. Please enable notifications. I would really, really appreciate that. I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next video. Please comment below and let me know what you thought of President-elect Biden's comments. And also, please share this video with friends and family. You can subscribe to our channel. Also, make sure you bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. This way, if you don't get notifications from YouTube, you can visit the homepage of our channel and check out our videos anytime that you want. So definitely bookmark that page. Follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. Follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. That's ignition_time. You can get on our SMS alerts list, get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000. That's 70000. You'll get added to our SMS alerts list. You can also get added to our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts. So definitely get on our email list. You can opt out of the SMS list or the email list at any point in time that you want. Thank you again so much for watching. You'll find the links to all our sources in the description section below. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.